Recording. Hey, Dan, Brad, you guys get into that GME stuff?
Well, we're going to be talking about it, Scott. You know we will. Thank you for the introduction, Scott, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, Brad, am I even audible? You guys hear me?
You are on. I hear you loud and clear. Welcome to our QA.
Well, then, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, you stepped into a good one today. Brad, Barry, Scott, buckle your seatbelts because Kansas is about to go bye-bye. By the way, that's from the Matrix, Cypher. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trade Ideas Q&A webinar where the executives and other partners at Trade Ideas, you got the people that you deal with are actually not just your standard support crew. You know, Scott here manages all of our communicative marketing, technology, and efforts. Barry, our fantastic trading room moderator. Brad, we're going to figure out what Brad does sooner.
Barry's much more than just a trading room moderator, but
he is so much more the Canadian trading room moderator. Did I miss something, Brad? All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a good one today. Let's get started with our weekly Q&A session. Again, one of the most exciting trading days ever. Before we get started, please note that nothing that Dan, that's me, and Brad or anybody else at Trade Ideas tells you is considered a formal recommendation of any kind to buy or sell any securities. If you are looking for formal recommendations, please consult a registered investment advisor. Although we'll be talking about
you really want to say that?
Yeah, we'll be talking about some of that stuff too. So once again, we are not registered investment advisors, and the information that you hear from us is for educational and informational purposes only, and no solicitation whatsoever to buy or sell securities. Our firm, Trade Ideas, we are the best at what we do, like Wolverine and the X-Men. We've been doing this since 2003, and ladies and gentlemen, this ain't our first rodeo, okay? You're looking at technology that's made from scratch to handle real-time market data with no BS from the Oracles and the SAPs and all the other big tech that wants to just give you some crap and really charge you for support. We make everything ourselves from scratch, and we are the premier technology to get you working in the market in the proper way, meaning that you can learn how to do it without risking any money with real-time data, but then you can take all that education and put it to use exactly the way that you learned it, because our technology seamlessly translates from the simulated mode to actual real-time trading. We've been kicking ass all sorts of levels on the Inc. 5000, 4 years in a row, soon to be 5, and because of your patronage, our revenues are off the charts, and they're off the charts because, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see that really for what we do and for the kind of market you got, we're the only game in town. So let's get ready to rock and roll and enjoy the show. Our friend Pepe has a couple of questions. If you ask yourself, what is the pattern of winning? Pepe and 3 of his glasses are looking at GME, and I'm Brad. I'm not sure if even Pepe knows what's going on.
Are they looking at GME or are they looking at Kodak?
Hey, Brad, okay, don't rush into it, Brad. Don't be like the young bull. Listen to the old bull who says, let's walk down and explain them all.
You're so correct.
But as Pepe here is looking with his 3 glasses at GME, and he says to himself, Brad, what the hell happened? So we're going to minimize the prezzo, jump into our good old-fashioned technology. And ladies and gentlemen, first of all, before I delve deeper into what you are about to witness, let me please ask you the simple question. Do you see what I see? Brad, you can say yes also.
I'll tell you what I see. I see stocks are moving with incredible percentage moves lately. Some of them, right? Unbelievable moves.
Captain Williams, you're sort of almost jumping the gun. I just want to make sure people were able to see my screen.
Oh, sorry. Your screen is coming through loud and clear.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad can tell you, although, you know, it should be self-evident right here. Bradley, what channel are we on?
We're on the Squeeze Me channel. We've got a bunch of different channels on our channel bar. This just happens to be one of them that's looking at stocks that are, oh, they're getting squeezed.
So Brad, for our back and forth to help the individual investors really enjoy the show, could you please explain to me, what does it mean if a stock is getting squeezed, and how is that relevant to, for example, what we've been seeing here?
Yeah, well, typically we're looking at stocks with the lower float, something that's not trading or have, you know, billions of shares in its float. So this is something with the lower float, and typically you're going to have a pretty high short float. A good percentage of that group are going to be short.
So Brad, you know, as an astute mathematical and technical and financial analysis wizard, you know, yesterday my spider sense was tingling as I asked you. I said, "Hey Brad, I mean, you know, I went to math class. How can you be short 138%?" But
Yeah,
Brad, it's a fantastic job explaining it.
Well, I'll explain. It's just because multiple brokers are reporting the same stock of short shares, and there's a little bit of time lapse between the accounting of it all. So this is just kind of caught in between time periods of different reporting mechanisms, and there aren't that many stocks that are going to be showing you over 100%, but there are a couple.
Correct. But Brad, what does it mean when somebody is short the stock like this, for example? Like, what are we trying to communicate when we're saying, guys, there's a short squeeze? What does it mean if somebody's short the stock?
That means they're betting on this stock moving down. So they're borrowing stock, and let's say they borrowed it $100, and they think at that point the stock is going to come back down to the $30 range, and it's just not, right? And so at that point they're getting absolutely squeezed. It's very painful for them at that point.
Correct. What's happening is the individuals who are short the stock, betting against it, they've got one option to cover their bets. Brad, what is that option?
That option is to buy it back, right? And so that whole process of buying it back makes it go even higher. Correct.
So what you're seeing here, and the reason I'm bringing up GameStop, this is what everybody wants to see. And again, so remember I said this is not our first rodeo. And again, I'm going to be showing you some other stuff that you're going to love, because GameStop's not the only game in town when it comes to this sort of activity. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying, Brad, virtually every single Q&A webinar, I said, ladies and gentlemen, when the stock market is on, there is nothing like it. There's no cryptocurrency, no real estate. What the hell is even real estate? I don't even know what that is. Is it real or is it a estate?
Well, you do have to live somewhere, but you know.
But the point is, the stock market is where you can play the game of wealth accumulation or distribution, because somebody has to lose when somebody wins. And there is nothing like it on the face of this.
It's really, it's instant liquidity, right? You have the ability at a moment's notice to get in or get out.
Correct. And let's just talk about, these are things, you know, you guys are much more advanced than the average bear because you're at the Trade Ideas webinar, but I want to just give you some perspective, okay? So here we are in January. I'm gonna see if I can even zoom in. It's making it, these moves are so crazy, Brad, it's making it hard to even see. But certainly on January 11th of this year, so roughly, you know, 16 days ago, where was GameStop? At $24. Just cruising along, not bothering anybody, bloop, 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 bloop. Then on the 13th, it had a pop, and this pop was gigantic, by the way, relative to what you're seeing now, but it almost looks tame by comparison, Brad, because here
it almost doubled, right? That's huge.
It almost doubled in one day. So let me just talk real quick so that we can get the mystery out of it. How did this happen? Well, it seems like what you're seeing here in GameStop, and I think this is there's going to be a continuum of this, is really a situation of class warfare happening in the stock market. Let me vex poetic on you, okay? First of all, gamers are very loyal and I almost don't want to say cohesive, but they are cohesive in a fraternal sort of way. Gaming's very big, they're very into it. And word got out that a large hedge fund, let's just call it that, was short GameStop. And I cannot possibly begin to explain how all the word got out, but certainly by now you've heard it was that there's a thread on Reddit where all this is going down. And I'm not telling anybody to go there or that Reddit is some incredible thing for the stock market. I would say basically on the contrary. But needless to say, what's happening is here, the little guys are going in number and destroying the big guys. What's happening is there are millions and millions and millions of gamers, even in the United States certainly, and they're taking their small amounts of money and they started to bet against this hedge fund to basically force this short squeeze, okay? Pause here for a second. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've had this channel, Brad, for certainly a number of years. This is not a new thing. Betting against the smart, dumb money is not anything new, okay? This is, in fact, I would say that, Brad, since we've invented and had the channel bar, we've had the short squeeze channel on there because it's a potent recipe for success to the upside if you know how to use it. And then GME, for example, what's happening is a very unique situation. A lot of times traders are thought of, or especially day traders are thought of as just these short-term scalpy day trading types where you get in, you make 50 cents, you get out, rinse, repeat, right? Well, when it came to GameStop, the gamers created kind of a hive mind identity around doing the opposite. They all piled in and none of them are selling, okay? And when that happened, this is what took place. So over here, after this doubling, I suspect that more than one hedge fund started to get short because this looks like, going from $17 or 19 over here to 50, 45, that's when Wall Street gets horny. They get aroused in that Wall Street, Mortimer, Randolph and Mortimer turn the machines back on sort of way, okay? And the other hedge funds started to pile on, but what they did not expect was that these guys, the gamers, and in their hive mind mentality had no intention of ever selling. They weren't doing this for a short-term gain. And again, if you go to Reddit, like we have done to just research what was going on, we simply found out that these guys are in it for the kill. But that's why I'm saying be very mindful of what your friend Dan and Brad and everyone else here at Trade Idea is telling you. There is a class warfare happening right now in the stock market. And it is an incredible thing to witness and see. Incredible, okay? And through the result of this class warfare, you have the following happen. Again, look, here it is at 37, I would just call it 40, 40. It's kind of flatlining here. What we call this is a basing pattern. And by the way, for many people, because it looks small relative to the move, but you're talking about 5-point swings, 10% moves. But when more and more word got out, this started to happen, and then this, and then this, and now here we are. And ladies and gentlemen, it may not be over. This is what I'm trying to tell you and why you are here at Trade Ideas right now. This may not be over, and I'm by no means telling anybody to jump on the GME bandwagon. In fact, again, from my experience, I've never seen this end up, good for, let's say, the speculative investor, but who knows? I could totally be wrong here. So this is all about timing, right? It's all about timing, right? If I'm in over here, I might be sitting pretty right here. And that's what I think is happening. None of these guys have a reason to exit, okay? So the only play if you are, if you're horny for the short side and want to see this thing fall, The only way to do it is in the options market, where you can basically say, I'm going to buy some puts, and it's a limited amount of risk, unlike short selling, where this could go to $1,000. And by the way, just for entertainment purposes, Elon Musk, yes, that's right, our friend, the Rocket Man, Elon, is on this Reddit message board telling people that if this thing goes to 1,000, he's putting GameStop on his rocket and sending it to space. And it's the real Elon, by the way. So, I mean, it's that crazy. That is what is going on here. It is that nuts out. But, and make sure that you understand that the key here is, right, not to overthink it. The only people that were able to take advantage of this were not the analysts and the people trying to figure out all sorts of like formula. Like this is a feel thing and a risk management thing. And as Brad said, timing is everything. So what I want to do is I want to show you, by the way, that GME is not the only game in town. Take a look at this. Okay.
These guys are what, headphone manufacturers, speaker manufacturers?
Right, headphone manufacturers. They have $3.5 million in cash. Okay, and their revenue. I mean, guys, if Trade Ideas was public, we'd be at 1,000. Just saying, Brad, right? There's just something else happening here. There's a fever to the hedge fund mentality of betting against the little guy. Okay.
Do me a favor, Dan. Bring up JAN for January. This is something that it's like in an early stage of something that might be happening right now.
Oh my gosh, certainly. Notice the short float, not as high as the other one, but obviously, you know, anything over 10% kind of, or I think in our case, 17 is the minimum, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, 17% is our minimum on these short plays. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of tell you that. So you're here at Trade Ideas, right? Because, well, we're going to bring you this data in real time. You'll be seeing this as it happens. Okay. Some of these names have not gone yet. What I'm going to show you is something that many of you have heard me talk about. By the way, GME, you know, I'm going again in a little bit after hours action here. And there's going to be volatility, but as I said, not the only game in town. So let me show you, and you guys have seen this before, and you'll see it when I bring up my portfolio, but I'm in it to win it. Okay. Who remembers me talking to you about Kodak when it was like at $7?
I do.
No, thanks, Brad. I'm waiting for my friends in the Q&A, but they're all in shock. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Number one, first of all, I'm going to bring some things back here just so you can see. Remember the neighborhood, Brad. I always said, remember the hood. This is the part that makes Trade Ideas so good. Thank you, Bullseye. Thank you, sir. I've been talking about this for a while. I've said that something happened here, and what happened here is accurate. Okay, and I want to give you some perspective. I mean, these are just my opinions, but just let me verbalize what I'm trying to tell you, so that A, you keep an eye on it, and B, you understand the power of what I'm trying to say. So obviously this happened when there were some political plays involved about what Kodak's going to do in the pharmaceutical business. I believe that play is completely intact. Okay, so I believe that you're going to see Kodak run from this level to this level sooner than you would expect. That is my opinion. Okay, and I'm positioned well in it. I will show you. But what you've got here is some recipe for success. How? Number one, relatively small float of the stock, 56 million in the, let me bring up Apple here for relative purposes here. Apple has 16.9, Brad, I can't do it, Brad. Okay, Apple has 16.99 billion in the float. Okay, so imagine what it takes to move Apple in any direction. I mean, you're talking about a tanker that's towing 2 tankers, and that's what it takes, and you're trying to wakeboard behind it. I mean, it takes an immense amount of potentiality to move Apple. I'm saying, and obviously it's still very close to highs, and many investors are been long forever. All is good there. But what I'm just saying is, relatively speaking, and look at how many people are short Apple relative to GameStop. There's 0.5%. I mean, which is in number total, because it's so big, a lot, but in reality, it's 0. So nobody's short Apple, nobody. And that's the difference. Whereas, let's go to Kodak. You've got roughly 20% of the smart dumb money short this stock, okay? And the float's 56 million. It almost traded the whole float today, and wait till word starts getting back out about this. Like, again, that's why you want to have some longer term perspective, so you do not forget what it is that you have seen, okay? So do not be surprised based on this, okay? Do not be surprised to see Kodak above this level. So you heard it here. You know, I just want to make sure you're aware that all of the recipes for it are in place. And remember, Kodak, you know, let me see, where's their revenue is actually 1.06 billion. Let's see what GameStop revenue is. I mean, GameStop has pretty good revenues as well. So can't be complaining there. But you can understand, because again, the gamers love to game, right? All right, let me bring up another stock that I'm involved with, that I've been watching, that also has some of the same recipes, different chart pattern, but you'll see, because it should be something familiar to you. Now, US Steel has earnings tomorrow, so that's another catalyst, earnings, okay? And it's been, people who are short this stock, so remember, it's been shorted a long time, and people have been short, and it's been running. Okay, it's pulled back, and then it ran again, it pulled back, and I think it is getting ready to go. Again, I think, you know, you always just make an assumption and then you watch your stocks, right? That's the key. But let's look at what we've got here. A float of 217 million, not that much in the relative scheme of things, and you've got a 15% short float. This is a recipe for a gigantic move up if the potentiality comes through. And certainly what Brad had mentioned is continuing to go. Tiny float, large short percentage. Ladies and gentlemen, we tend to do in the stock market what in golfing is often referred to as paralysis by analysis. Brad, explain to me why paralysis by analysis is so bad in golf, because it really is germane. Brad's our token good golfer. Although
I think in golf, what you're doing with paralysis by analysis is you're overthinking what you're trying to do. You're trying to think about each move of the club head and such. But at the time of playing a game, you should really rely on your instincts at that point and just kind of go with what you feel is right.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but.
Well, no, it is what I am saying, and it's key, because if you start thinking to yourself, oh, Kodak, like for example, some thoughts here, like Kodak, well, where's its 20-day moving average, and what about the RSI? Forget all that bullshit. Okay, ultimately, right? We talk so many times, Brad, about how we don't steer you into the direction of indicators and technical analysis, because price action is all that matters. You've got the trade idea, and then you've got trade initiation. After that's done, it's all risk management. Everything is risk management. You've got to manage your risk. You've got to make sure that you do it the right way, okay? And if you do, then you can potentially reap rewards that are just unheard of in traditional money management circles. You know, the other thing that's going on with GME is that people are trying to show people that giving your money to others to manage for you is just not the only way around. We are not stupid, okay? All the information you need is out there. There's nothing that you need that Trade Ideas does not give you, because look, if you're making your decision by breaking down financials of a company, well, then you don't need Trade Ideas anyways. It's pointless. But if you are making your decisions by being able to visualize what's happening and then act upon the actual visualization of the trade event, well, then you're in a different story. There is nothing like what we bring to the table. Nothing like it. Okay. So let me just real quick. Are there any questions about what I'm talking about? And does anybody have other things that they want me to mention about these low float, short squeeze? And remember too, just FYI, I only had to press this button. Like for example, I can go right here, right now, and press on the Holly Neo channel. So for those of you that don't know, Holly Neo is our one of our AIs. And our AI is a fully embedded trading system that helps you trade statistical trades. Like in other words, the AI is very similar to a Vegas card counter, okay? It looks at statistics right now. In fact, as Brad and I always say, while we are doing this presentation, our incredible servers are crunching all the data of today, trying to figure out what the hell happened to GME, fainting, then restarting, and getting, you know, getting the circuit board cleaned up after the throw up, Brad, and getting ready for tomorrow. But the end result for you is that you've got these fully encompassed systems that are going to show you a game plan. And why do people subscribe to our premium software? It's really because the premium software with the AI really creates the proper training methodology. As you guys know, even a great golfer like Tiger Woods has a golf coach. Why? Because the coach watches what Tiger's doing and says, well, let me give you another perspective. In some ways, our AI is very similar. It's giving you a full trading plan all throughout the day of what a statistically sound trader would do. So the AI is a stat trader. Again, like a card counter in Vegas. That doesn't mean it wins all the time. It just means that it knows how to do statistics better than you, and it's going to do things that you are unable to do. How do people interact with it? They follow it. How can you follow it and learn from it? Well, that's a great question. Lots of people ask it. That is why you should know that Trade Ideas has a fully encompassed simulated trading environment, SIM, which when coupled with our premium subscription allows you to simulate the AI and see how would you have traded it if you were just running it on auto. You can put in whatever shares you think you're going to trade or whatever dollar amounts. You can double down. You can, you can practice anything and everything that you want. That's the key. And that's how people learn. You know, as I've said before, using the golf analogy, Tiger Woods spends an incredible amount of time on the range. More time on the range than you could ever possibly imagine. Brad, am I right?
You are right.
And our simulated trading mode is the range, okay? It's your range for the stock market. You get to practice in simulated mode. You can automate things. In other words, you can try, well, what would it be like if I automated a strategy? You can try that in simulated mode, okay? And you can see, oh my gosh, well, this would be terrible, or you know what, this looks better than I thought. These are the kind of insights that you are never going to otherwise get anywhere unless you're putting real money on the line. And when you put real money on the line, you know what comes with real money, Brad? Feels.
No. Feels.
Brad, explain to our audience, what does Dan mean when he says feels? F-E-E-L-Z.
What do you mean when you say feels? I think that Fields has developed from spending some time looking at stock movement and, stock action without ever looking at the way price action moves on a stock. You just have no idea what to expect. So for us who are pretty experienced in the market, when we see stuff like GME, we know that you don't just jump into that without some potential repercussions. I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, I'm saying that when you're sort of on the right track, but I was actually trying to be a little bit funnier. What I was really saying, by the way, there's another one, if you want to know. Well, we already talked about it. Sorry, I got so excited I forgot. What I mean by feels is this, and why you have to really have the trade ideas environment is that if you're starting to trade with real money, feels are your emotions. Your emotions come in, they're like, hey trader, let me help you out. Feel bad, or feel ecstatic, or feel bad. Emotions are horrible at trading. In fact, again, if you look at the World Series of Poker, Brad, what do a lot of the pros wear? Glasses.
Sunglasses.
Right. They don't want you to see their feels. And those guys are so good at tracking other people because you're playing against the emotions of other people, whether it's pro poker or the stock market. So in here, like what we see with GME or with KOSS, you're playing against the pain emotions of the hedge funds who are short this thing that are in pain, and the traders that are long that are feeling good that they're kicking ass and taking names. Okay, so I switched very quickly to the Omni AI channel. It's one of our channels that simply lets you see all of the AIs together. That's all this is. So here, if you were looking at this, you would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me change it by time here. Here, resort that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 trades. Okay. You can see that a lot of times the statistical setups start off early in the morning, so they're 5 minutes after the open. That's why when people get comfortable with this, a lot of them automate it because you have to you got to make sure you're not getting coffee or whatever. If you've got this on auto, well then it's kind of working for you. And I'm not saying that's for everyone. I'm just saying that that's one of the advantages of the automated trading environment. And the other thing, and let me just really quickly expand this out so you guys can all see it. One of the other things that we bring to the table is a game plan for you, okay? Notice you've got the dotted lines that give you the smart stop and the profit target, okay? Every single stock has this. The software assumes that it doesn't know that you're in the stock, but you might be getting in right now. And based on you getting in right now, it creates these levels for you at any chart. So like if you got in right here, the software says, right around below here is where I don't like it anymore. And maybe take some off the table if you want right here. Naked, same thing, okay? Right here, right there. Every single stock has it, okay? CLDR, I'm just kind of going through it. So one of the reasons why we're so popular amongst the individual investors is because within every single stock, no matter if it's some of the names that you've heard of or names you've never heard of before, you have a fully enabled game plan in the stock. So Nikos, you don't need to add anything. These things are automatically in your charts. Brad, am I correct? Aren't they out there by default?
What are you talking about?
Well, Nikos has said, how do I add Smart Stop on my chart?
Yeah, they're there by default.
Yeah, so Nikos, if you have Trade Ideas Pro, you bring in the charts, they should all be there. Make sure you're, of course, on the latest version, but all of that is already there. And again, I always go ahead, Brad. What were you saying?
Well, I'd say there's an option when you right-click under Properties that allow you to turn that off and on. So if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. If you want to reverse it so that you're hypothesizing that you're going to be going short, it'll reverse all that, so you can customize it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let me move on to this window right here called Shall We Play a Game? If you guys haven't figured this out yet, Brad and I are old. you can figure this out by knowing that we watch movies that some of you might have not even seen or even never heard of. This particular movie, of course, is really good. It's called War Games. And if you haven't watched it, I recommend it highly. Not that it necessarily will help you trade at all, but Brad, I believe it's pretty good cinema.
I think so.
Yeah. So
I
I
enjoy it.
want to show you that. So one of the reasons why, and now, so first of all, let me do something real quick. Notice on Trade Ideas Brokerage Plus, you've got lots of things that you can potentially connect to. Now, we've been working on E-Trade and TD Ameritrade for a long time, and I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and then we found some bugs that we had to fix. But Brad, I mean, it is coming soon. Very soon.
I'm actually checking to see if the version that was just dropped has it, and so I'll let you know if it does, and I'll let the few people that want to give it a shot if it's there.
Right. So let me show you what I did here. So I am now connected to only one thing, okay? A live interactive brokers account, okay? Live interactive brokerage account. So this is not simulated money, this is real money. And I just wanted you guys to know that we're not just effing around and telling you what to do and not doing it. We actually trade. I mean, this is why we are good at what we do, why we create amazing technology for you, because, well, much like Tiger Woods still plays golf, we do what we say. I'm in Kodak, okay? Because if I'm only trying to create technology, but I don't actually even use it, how the hell am I going to be able to do that for you? Brad and I and the team at Trade Ideas, I mean, and this goes back, you know, we've been doing this since 2003, so a long, long time. You are dealing with a lot of professional investors. Barry is one, myself, Brad, so many other team members at Trade Ideas. So we're trying to show you that this can be done. And the only way we can do that is if we're actually doing it. And again, you guys have seen this. So many, many, many of you have already seen this. So here I am. This is what happened to me today. Okay. I don't know why I have two of these, Brad. Let me disconnect and reconnect.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we always show you the development version. So you know, there's always, it's actually this one. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. But so today, so take a look. I mean, you've got open P&L that I have all together here of $31,000 that I'm in right now. And I was able to completely, freely hold this one because I'm in a similar mode, guys, that some of those GME traders in, because look at my buy price.
1003.
1003. Do you understand why I'm not panicking out of it and trying to sell it, especially when the volatility is the way it is? So here I am in CCIV, up 19,000 almost, okay, but down 5,000 today, but still that 5,000 loser is relative to a 100% gain from $10. This is real money, guys, okay? And here I am in Kodak, enjoying the show. So that's partly to show you that this environment, Trade Ideas right here, this brokerage plus environment is identical between simulated trading and between actual live trading. So when you're learning to trade on our simulated mode, like, so I can go like this, disconnect, connect to simulated trading. And I was doing some simulated stuff too. I have stuff in simulated mode running on automated trading so that I can see what's going on and key off of P&L. Again, we're sort of like artists. We're constantly trying to come up with new ways to view things. But I'm just showing you that we do it all, okay? And whether you're in simulated mode or in real mode, the environment is exactly the same. Okay, so Richard was asking, how can you automate the strategy? What I'm going to suggest, Richard, again, there's definitely tons of ways to do it. It would be something over here, or the AI right here, so Holly, which is off right now because the market's off, but you would select all of this and you would right click and you would say enable them. I mean, when the market's on, it would you have that option. Enable 15 selected strategies, and everything would start to trade based on instructions that you put in there. But let me tell you that our Q&A webinars are like typically not where we jump into the details of it. So I'm simply suggesting that if you're planning on doing this, just hook up with one of our educational training sessions and someone will take you through all of the steps necessary in a much more cohesive environment. Where here, we're kind of showing you the latest and the greatest, giving you flavor of what's going on. You know, like we're trying to show you guys, again, you can do lots of things from not only simulated trading, but of course, here I am, TWS Live Connect, but with, of course, real trading as well. This is the next level. This is what you should be doing. And notice again, the feedback that you get. You know, you can see that at one point today, I was up like almost 12,000, but then when the whole market sold off, I actually went negative and then obviously came right back because I'm in the right trade. All the windows are sizable. You can do lots of mixing and matching, you know, all the charts. You can zoom in by just scrolling, zoom back, zoom out. This is a fully functional, powerful trading system. And it's not just a system, but it's a trading interface where we are, I mean, I really do believe, Brad, if Google wasn't evil and we could use them in a positive way, which you know I don't like to do, but I would say that we are the search engine of the stock market, and there is nothing like it. And the best part is, ladies and gentlemen, is that you're here now, right at the most exciting time possibly ever, because like what I said before, this GME, okay, is heralding a new kind of renaissance, shall we say, Brad, into interest in the stock market, because let's just face it, these returns right here, you're not going to find them anywhere else but the stock market. And people are going to be realizing, well, now that, you know, why do I need to play DraftKings fantasy football bullshit when the real game is the stock market? I mean, seriously, this is the deal. And it isn't easy. I've never said that. I'm not saying that it's easy to make money. I'm just saying that sometimes you've got these good sets. And this is what's happening right now with the set on the short squeeze stocks, the GMEs, the Kodaks, okay? You've got these great sets that are coming in, and watch this thing tomorrow. And again, it could pull back, but if this gets above what I call 14.4, now let me just describe this level and why it's critical. So the reason Kodak jumped from here to here is because the opposite of short selling happened. A very powerful hedge fund called D.E. Shaw filed and had to announce that it had acquired 5% of Kodak. Okay, the whole thing. So it owns 5% of this float. And again, after that, it still pulled back and probably acquired more, and other people are getting into it. But now, as you can see, as things start to ramp, once it breaks out of here, you're going to put the afterburners on this thing, okay? And it is going to run. That's really what I want you guys to be aware of. I mean, I always like to do these Q&As where we're not simply just talking about how does the software work, but where you're getting real ideas, real things, okay? Always say, take a look at the stuff I'm in. I'm into it for a reason. This thing right here, I'll just tell you, AUVI is another one. You know, I really think the potential of this is going right back to where it was before, okay? And this isn't a short squeeze type of play, but it is a very small float type of play. Okay, and I'm not saying to buy it, I'm just saying that I'm in it. So do with that information what you will. Yeah, Ron, exactly. So if you want to look at like institutional ownership, whoops, there is none in this one. It's a tab we have called Insiders. you can kind of see what's going on. Well, these are the insiders of the company. For institutional owners, guys, you can go on the internet, look that up. We may add that at one time, but I just want to say again, price action is the key. It does not matter.
We do have a filter, Dan. I know that it's overload with stuff, but we do have a filter called held by institutions, and it's on a percent.
Brad, hold on. Configure, search, and I'm going to type in. Well, there you go, Brad. I need a training course. Maybe Brad will give me one. So here you go. So you can filter by that. Again, and I'm not saying that that is the end all be all of any kind of filtering. I'm just saying that we typically have it all. And what I did was in this alert window, I right clicked and I said configure. And then I went to our search tab and I typed in
You can add that data point as just a visual reference on a top list alert window. You can use it as a filter. You can add it to the single stock window. So a lot of different ways you can utilize it.
Do it all. And that's again stuff that you can get better at after you get some training.
So Dan, I did drop a link reluctantly, but I did drop a link because it's in pre-beta right now. It hasn't even made it to beta, but I did drop a link in here for the people that are really want to give it a shot. The link that I dropped in chat will allow you to connect with via Brokerage Plus to E-Trade or to Thinkorswim.
Oh shit, really? You know, can I just tell you something? Somebody at Trade Ideas likes Brad a lot better because I did the same thing, and then they put the collar on me, Brad. They said no, you can't. And I was like, why? And they said, no, you're bad. And then when Brad does it, they're like, oh, good boy. There you go. Oh, it's tough being the CEO. Tough being the CEO. Cliff, again, I'm not sure about that stuff.
Let me see if I can get that to you, Cliff, before the end of this webinar.
Yeah, but Cliff, I just want to make sure, you know, contemplate the notion that there's no amount of knowledge of institutional ownership or insider or anything that's going to get you the GameStop returns, or for that matter, the NTM returns, or any of that sort of stuff. You know, we're talking about making decisions and being confident that you can manage your risk. How are you confident that you can manage your risk? Because you're not putting all of your emotions into it, the feels, you're putting the feels away, and you're allowing yourself, if you're wrong, you're wrong, and if you're right again, then you can re-enter it. This is a lot of stuff that people kind of, you know, don't understand, that in the stock market, you can get in, be wrong, but then you can get in again, especially now with zero commission. So as Brad said, you know, my gosh, the floodgates for Trade Ideas are probably going to go Richter, because if we're now, Interactive Brokerage is not a zero commission, but TD Ameritrade and E-Trade are zero commission trades. So I think Brad's giving you the juice. We're about to, you know, we're about to give this opportunity to you, which means the floodgates are about to open. Hopefully you're already.
So for those that do want to give this one a shot, please check back to our download page quite frequently, because we will be continuing to do updates and improvements to it. So don't just get caught up in that one version right there.
Correct. You know, today I really just wanted to touch upon the high level things that GameStop can create, this excitement, this interest, and it should be that way. You know, we don't know if it will continue, but for those that are in below, you know, $50, they don't care. You know, they're in it to win it. So very exciting stuff. Again, we're just reiterating the fact that we do it too. We're not just talking the talk, we're walking the walk. And many of you already know this. So there's no need for me to continue. Let's go back to the PowerPoint, because again, we got so excited today. We, you know, the time went fast. So Barry, our good friend and also a professional trader who every day manages our trading room with a meritocracy of other good traders around him. This is his room, trade-ideas.com/trading room. Barry will help you with answering questions. And again, just an incredible asset, because he's sort of doing it all the time. You know, I don't have to show my trading to you guys per se, although I do on the Wednesday Q&As, but Barry's there all the time. He's not only simulated trading, but he's also trading his own account and always engaging. And one of the things that Barry's critical on is the risk management. He does not take unnecessary risks. And it really is a good way for people to get their feet wet, even if you're just browsing and kind of just want to take a look at what does it feel like. This ain't no Discord room. This is the real deal. We provide a lot of good information for you guys, lots of ways to interact with the market. Earnings is one, and that's our latest ebook, and you can download that at trade-ideas.com/earnings. This is the key here, ladies and gentlemen. The key is our education. So whenever you join the Trade Ideas community, you're never alone, and the education never stops. We are constantly creating curriculum. There's videos on our YouTube channel of virtually everything and anything that we've ever done, which you can look at and figure it out and rewatch it and rewatch it. Again, we are the college of the stock market, except, you know, there's no PhD or master's or bachelor's. It's all one education. But if you go to trade-ideas.com/live, you can sign up for these classes, and they're weekly. So we're a community. People have been with us for years. Remember, we've been doing this since 2003 through your patronage. No venture capital money whatsoever. All of our technology made right here in the good old US of A. We're a subscription service. This is how much we cost on a per diem, although we charge monthly or annually. But just so you can understand, forward-facing AI, not some bullshit that's trying to tell the evil corporations how to charge you more money and and steal from you, but rather AI that's helping you analyze the stock market. At the most, premium costs $7.50 a day. That's without any discount. If you annualize that, it's roughly $2,200 for the year. If you cannot afford that, then trading may not be the thing for you. Brad, I always say that because it's true. But of course, for being with us and listening to our Q&A webinar, we have a promo code for you, Holly New Year, because we're in the beginning of 2021, and that gets you 15% off of your first month for a year off of Trade Ideas. So again, all caps. And we also do podcasts with partners and talk about different aspects of our technology. Sean McLaughlin, team member of Trade Ideas, does that with various other team members. It used to be me and Jamie, but we got kicked out for being too crazy, Brad. It happens.
That happens, right?
It happens. It's okay. So please search for Trade Ideas in your favorite app and subscribe to it, and you'll get the podcast. We are very easy to get a hold of, and although I've been kicked off of all social media, many members of Trade Ideas are still active. You've got @TradeIdeas on Twitter, @QuantBot, and @TodayTrader. And although I've been kicked off of Facebook as well, you can please visit us there and like us. And if you have any questions, please shoot us an email at info@trade-ideas.com or call us at this number right here. I believe that concludes this Q&A webinar. Scott, how are we doing?
We are doing great. Everyone remember that the recording will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for an email tomorrow with a reminder about how to find it. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Take care, all.